Hello everyone and welcome, it's Shanna. Now today I'm working with the Kraftin Kimmie's July stamp set of the month. And what this is a little stamp set that you will get if you spend $75 in the Kraftin Kimmie shop. And you're going to want to keep collecting all these so that you get the extra special one at the end of the year. Now I'm going to be bringing in my Kraftin Kimmie mini ink cubes and do some stamping here. I'm just going to use my acrylic block. I'm going to pass up on my Misty, and I'm going to create a background panel with this by just stamping all of my my little seashells all over this panel and creating a background panel. This color here is the Alluring Amethyst, and I've got the mini cube. I bought myself a rainbow of colors from Kraftin Kimmie on the mini ink cubes so that I could work with them, and I'm going to be bringing in a couple of the colors today. So you'll see this is a brand new stamp, and I didn't even really spend much time prepping it, and it's stamping up beautifully. And I think it's because I've got brand new stamps and they're nice and juicy, and I'm just going to kind of spin it around and just stamp this all over this panel so that we will have a fun background panel for our card. And I will wind up trimming this down, but it'll make a nice little panel for me. Now, I didn't have a lot of time to craft this morning, and I was kind of behind. We've just had such a busy couple of weeks, and we've got a party today. It's going to be a pool party with a bounce house. The kids are going to have a blast, and then we'll have some fireworks this evening. Our family has historically had the celebration on July 3rd because my husband was a firefighter for 30 years, and they're always working on the 4th. And now we don't have the parties at our house anymore. We have them at our daughter's house, and her husband is a firefighter as well as a state trooper. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to go to that, and so I'm just doing a quick voiceover, and I really like how this panel turned out. I think it looks really pretty with just the Alluring Amethyst. Now, I'm going to bring in one of the sentiments and just stamp it all over my panel as well. Now, the sentiment that I'm going to stamp says "Celebrate," and I'm going to be using the Alluring Azure color to stamp it down. And I'm choosing these colors because I'm going to bring in some pattern paper that I'm going to use to back this panel with. So here is the Alluring Azure, and we've got "Celebrate," and I'm just going to kind of do the same thing I did with the shells and just kind of randomly put it all over the place and just kind of stamp it where I can get it to fit in. And again, I'm choosing these colors because of the colors that are in the pattern paper that I'm going to bring in. And I'm not going to stamp as many of these as I did my shells. I'm just going to kind of fill in any gaps that we've got and just kind of showcase the stamp and the sentiments on this panel. Just eyeballing it, seeing if there's any other places that I want to put it. And I think I've decided that's enough, and we're going to go with that. Now, I'm going to bring in some pattern paper that I have just absolutely been in love with, and you've seen me use it on my channel several times, and this is just gorgeous. I will mention this did come from Pink and Maine. It was part of my Crafty Courtyard kit, and I just think it's just a fun pattern, and I don't know, the blue bubbles on there kind of remind me of the water or being at the beach, and I thought the pink and the blue and the purple would kind of go with this panel. Now I'm going to trim this panel down. I'm going to do a lot of things with this panel before I land on where I'm going. Right now I'm trimming it down to 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm trimming off of all 4 sides just so I have a good clean edge on all 4 sides. And then I'm going to do a couple other things with this panel before I finally figure out how I want to do it. So I'm going to lay my pattern paper down on my card base. Just get some glue in there. I'm bringing in my Sweet Petunia glue press and just getting it glued down. And I just think that, I wonder if I should have used a little bit bolder pink. There were a couple different colors of pink in there, and I went with a lighter, but now I'm wondering if I should have went with a hot pink instead. Now this is where I decide I'm going to actually used a scallop die on this, and I've decided I wanted to bring in some additional layers to kind of tie all the colors in, the ink that I stamped on there, and then some of the blue that's already on that background, that pattern paper. So we'll just layer it up, and I've got 2 scallops. I've got the largest, or second to largest, and then the third largest scallop die there. This is a nesting set, and I'm just going to layer them up and get them laid down on my card base. And I think it looks good. So now I've decided to bring in the stamp, and I'm going to just bring in some white cardstock, and I'm just going to do some stamping there, and then we'll do some coloring on these. And for this, I'm going to use my Memento Black ink and just stamp them with that so that it'll be safe for my alcohol markers that I'm going to use to color. So I'm just inking them up, and I will tell you, this ink pad is not as juicy as those new ones. I think I get a good press on this one, and then the second one I actually have to stamp twice because I don't get as good of a press on. Of course, it had not been used yet. It was a brand new stamp. So I'm going to ink it up and blot it, and it wasn't as crisp as I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and add another one, and we'll stamp it down, and then I'll have the two different shell images that I can color and fussy cut out. I'm also going to bring the sentiment that says collecting joy, and I'm going to stamp it up with my alluring azure, and we'll see how it goes. And that was the first time using it, and it was okay with the stamping, but then I grabbed the amethyst and stamp it down with that, and it actually had the blue on there. I didn't clean it. So now we're ready to do our coloring. Then I thought I needed some kind of a barrier between my shells and my background panel, so I just took a circle die and I cut out some Hammermill white cardstock and decided I would use that. And then I wanted to layer this sentiment with actually the remnants of the scallop die, and I thought it looked kind of neat with the little ribs on there, and so I went ahead and layered it up. And then I decided to go ahead and bring in some of my amethyst and just kind of blend this panel so it wasn't so stark white. And then I'm just going to lay it in the upper right hand or left hand corner, and I'm going to place my shells. I'm going to pop up the third one just to give it some dimension, and we'll also pop up our sentiment, and then that will pretty much finish off our card. I hope you like it. Thanks for watching.